Hey YouTube, Arbiter Juvadim here. This is UPM 6B test set, radar test set part 3. It's all hooked up and I know how to use it for the most part. So, you gotta do some math to use it. Nowadays we use kilohertz and megahertz, for ham radio at least. This thing uses megacycles, which is a completely different measurement. I think, let's see here, 1 kilohertz is 0.0013 of a megacycle. So that's just kind of how broad it is. I'll show you some scales here in a second. But so these are some schematics I needed to figure out how to use to get this thing to work right. Correction chart, modulations, calibers, and calibration curves. This basically shows you the frequency in megacycles that this was calibrated to utilize. So this is our upshift or downshift lever that they're basically calibrating, and these numbers right here are these. This is our oh man, what's it called? Range, I believe it's our range. So that's this is our wavelength basically. That's let's see. That's lower sideband right there, and that's upper sideband. Or no, sorry, that's upper sideband, that's lower sideband. And then this is our fine tuning. So these are basically, I think these are our megacycles. These could be megacycles or detailed hertz. But anyways, oh no, sorry, yeah, these are the megacycles. That's what the secondary winding was. But this was moved, and once you have your frequency kind of tuned in to that, you can use your dB thing right here, decibel and peak volts, to really finely adjust it. So that's what that does. And don't worry, it's declassified. It says confidential, but it's all been declassified. But so this is all the different calibrations on it. You need to know these depending on what kind of radar you're checking. And then these are charts that you also need to know for using it. Watts, charts, decibels, dB above 1 watt. You know, so it's pretty confusing. It was kind of intimidating to me at first, but it's not anymore. Once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. But this thing puts out some watts, so as you can see here, it doesn't mess around. There's a lot. So let's get back to the radar set itself. So what does this do? This tests radar, and it will also test any radio you have. So let me take off all these guys and I'll show you what's going on here. Alrighty, so this is pretty basic. This is originally what we had, and I was showing you the old videos when I was taking it apart. But so we already got these ones done. That's, you know, fine tuning and upper lower sideband. This right here is our gigahertz. This radar set is actually rated in gigahertz. So you can see there, these are our basically, and this is megacycles. But 300 megacycles equals, let's see, I gotta do the math again. 3,000, I think we're looking at approximately 2.7 gigahertz in that right there. A megacycle is actually a very big measurement of kilohertz. Very big. So if you're looking at about 3 megacycle, or 3 of these, 3,000, so we're at 3145. That's approximately, yeah, I want to say we're somewhere around 2.9, 2.8 gigahertz. But anyways, so we have different levers here, knobs, and this is to adjust the gigahertz. This one actually comes in with the built-in transmitter, so it will automatically send a tone to your radar. And you'll see something pop out on the radar, and that'll show if it's testing correctly. and you have an LED, or not, this is an LED, this is actually a neon bulb, which is really cool. You can't find these anywhere. This is neon, so it may flash here because it's transmitting to itself, and that's what it's picking up. But so over here we got test selector, transmitter, and these are all test spectrums. So if I wanted to test my radio, which I'll do in a second, I'll have it on transmitter because I'm transmitting. The receiver is kind of iffy. I think I have to look at some wires in that because the indicator light doesn't come on when I am receiving. So I gotta do some more work on some of the tubes or resistors later on. It's probably something bad in there. I haven't taken it all apart. But we got signal generator, and this is where our gigahertz is being transmitted. So if we go to signal generator and we go to frequency, you use this basically to finely tune what frequency you're inputting, and the radar works on a base of frequencies. And when you pulse it, so we have our pulse grouping, calculate. We got calculate and what's that? Normal. So we have a normal operation. We're not calibrating anything. Sorry. Out, in. We're gonna stay out because we're going outbound, not inbound. Actually, we'll have to put that on inbound later for the radio. But anyways, that's pretty broad as to what it does. And here's something really interesting. This knob right here, meter range. That's not for the meter. Let's just think of like that. This is actually for all you hams out there. 2 meter, 10 meter. So you got 2 meter right there, 10 meter. This will actually test not just radar but actual radios as well. So that's why it's on the front. It says here radar test set AN/UPM6B. AN's a radio tester, but UPM6B is a radar tester. And then it also says it up here, field change. So interesting. It's really multi-use, which is typical Navy. But I'm transmitting on 2 meters, so I'm gonna put that over to 2 meters. Let's see here. What else do I need to do? Let's put our SIF on normal because we're not doing any video. All right. So this is our coded video, and when you're testing radar, your outbound signal will go into this. That carries a lot of voltage because obviously with that wattage scale we were talking 1700 or to 11,000 watts going through it, which is a lot of power. But basically we're going to, our sync out is our antenna. On an aircraft the radar uses antennas, so our sync out, that's our antenna. This is my base station antenna on the roof. So I'm going to throw that in there. We're going to set this to transmitters because we're testing a transmitter. And we're going to put my UV5R radio on sync in. Okay. Let's go, yeah, we're on 2 meters. Gotta turn the signal generator off. And let me key it real quick. Alright, so that's me hitting the repeater, and as you can see, this radio is testing good because the LED indicator comes on. If this radio wasn't good, it would either vaguely blink or wouldn't come on at all. So I'm going to give you a quick little test run of what it sounds like on the other end. But this is pretty good here. So let's see what happens. This is KG5 IWQ radio check. If anybody is out there, I know K5OTD, you may be out there still.
Read you loud and clear.
Copy that. Yeah, I'm just over here testing the radar set again. Thank you for the comeback. I'm going to get back to the video here. We'll talk to you later. KG5 IWQ clear. But so it's really cool as to how it works. And here's something quite interesting. If I take my sync out, the antenna on the roof, and I put this to the high voltage coded video, I take my radio off, it just starts randomly finding something. As you can see, it's on. So there's something going on out there. And the only thing this will detect, when you have it on the coded video, this will detect your gigahertz range. It doesn't detect. So someone out there, cops, planes, I don't know, is using a transmitter that is transmitting on the gigahertz spectrum right now, and that's what it's seeing. So let me see if I can get that to go off and we can figure out what they're using. Alright, so obviously they're really low in the gigahertz spectrum. That's on the lowest setting I can put that on, and that's only when the light comes on. So this one and 2 meter turns on. So either someone's transmitting on 2 meter or a very low spectrum there somewhere. But this thing doesn't go all that low. So let me try medium, high, 0.5, 1, 2. I'll leave it on 2. 2 is the highest setting we're going to be able to go at here. But that's that. Now here's something interesting, okay? On this one you can see right here, interrogator responsers. Over here we got transmitters and beacons. We've already done this. So if I go over here, transmitter mode, power, receive frequency sensitivity, XMR on. The XMR is a built-in interrogator. And this was designed, I guess, to interrogate radar, and even if the radar was encrypted or whatnot, it would open up the radar and it would be able to test it. This can also be used for opening up repeaters that have an unknown, unknown PL tone. So if I have a repeater here in town and I don't know what the PL tone is, I can go over to interrogator setting. I can put that on 2 meter or 1 1/4 because it's got a 1 here setting, and I can give the radio a quick thing. I may not be able to get audio through in the first parts of it because it's not made to put audio through. It's just made to test radios and radar, but it will open the repeater because I will hear a key out tone or a Roger beep from the repeater, which is really cool. That's what I was doing earlier. But of course, I warn. If there's somebody, the repeater station owner, I tell them, hey, I have something I'm going to test here. Can I do it on the repeater? And they'll give me the okay usually. But yeah, that was really cool. So it will open up the repeater without any PL tone in the radio. I can go simplex on the radio and it'll open it up. But yeah, so that's really cool. The disclaimer though is, I am using a radio to put it in a transmit tone. But in theory, if I had a radio here that could receive in gigahertz, I would be able to hear something from it. I don't have a radio that can do that, as much as I would like to get one. That's kind of out of my price range. But that's about that for that. And then over here, we have our sinks. This is an internal sink. Right now it's on internal, because if you had it on external would be a radar, airplane's automatic sync equipment, and yeah, I don't have that. So internal will work for now, and reply with I think it's a triple, or emergency. So that's another reason it's opening up repeaters, is because that's on an emergency tone. And when you have on something like that, it is going to scream everything it can to open up that repeater. I'm not using this now because that's part of the interrogator system. But yeah, so that's the UPM 6B, what it does, how it works, and then you get your video in and outs here for radar. That would show you your peaks on the radar scale. HPN, I'm not sure what that is still. I need to figure that one. RF is testing your radio power. SG, in and out. Man, I don't know what those are either, but those have always been bridged. But anyways, this is how it works. So I'm glad I figured out most of it, and we'll talk to you guys later. This is KG5IWQ signing off 73.